Hey everybody, this is Chris Rose, the host of BattleBots. You can catch it on Discovery, and right now I'm hanging out on ThisWeekInGeek.net with my buddy Mike Dodd, and we are talking about the 2020 season of BattleBots, which was very different because of the pandemic, but it was just as fun as the previous 4 seasons. Yeah, you'll see your favorites like Tombstone and Witch Doctor and Whiplash and Hydra. They're all back, but also we've got a great array of newcomers inside the Battle Box. So don't forget, you'll tune in to Discover. You can see it each and every Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you do that because you'll get to hear me say something weird like, "Let the bot battle begin." We will crown a champion in 2020. You'll get a chance to find out who it is.
Oh my god, look at that bot. It is so big.
It looks like one of those BattleBots.
I like big bots and they cannot lie. Other robots can't deny. When Farouk calls them in, sparks begin. Some bots, well, they gonna get flung. Gonna crash, nowhere to hide from flamethrower flash. Look out when they attack, cause BattleBots are back.
Whoa! How about this? Whoa! Let the big bot battle begin.
Hey guys, what's going on? You are listening to ThisWeekInGeek.net. I'm your host, Mike the Birdman, and as you can guess, I am here alone in the studio, but not for long. I'm actually checking out an awesome show from Discovery, and we're going to be talking about BattleBots. I got offered this opportunity to actually go and check out the show live in person, but then, the world caught on fire, so I got offered something a little bit different today, and I got a chance to talk with one of the hosts from the newest season of BattleBots, which is airing right now on Discovery. We are going to be talking with one of the hosts, Chris Rose. Chris, without any further ado, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike. We're trying to put out the world on fire. We should all just grab our fire hoses and do our job. And hopefully then next season you can join us in person.
I would absolutely love that because this is the first time I've watched BattleBots in a really, really long time. I got a chance to watch the first episode a couple of days ago, and wow, there were things on fire in this episode. Wow, this show was intense. I didn't believe all the cool things that I saw in this opening episode of this show. Like, I couldn't believe just how fierce the competition was. And I know you've been doing this show for quite a number of years, and you've seen all these robot fights get intense, robots flying, parts going everywhere. What has it been like to watch the field of robotics and competition just evolve over the past couple of years?
Well, first of all, Mike, where the heck you been? Come on, we've been doing this since 2015. Come on, brother.
Well, I gotta say, I've been kind of sleeping on this show, but I sat down and watched it with my wife, and we were into this. Like, It was intense and fun.
Yeah, so that's the key is that, I was kind of an outsider when I joined BattleBots in 2015. They used to do it on Comedy Central back in the day, but it was very different than when we brought it back and now what it's evolved into, because we just completed our 5th season. And for people that haven't seen it, it's a pair of 250-pound robots that are essentially fighting to the death inside of a thing called the Battle Box. And you're thinking, well, what do you need a battle box for? Why don't you just have a ring? Well, these 250-pound pieces of metal have blades that are spinning at a tip speed of up to 250 miles an hour. So there is a ton of carnage. There is a ton of damage. Most of these things run on battery. Some of them have flame. So you're talking about, there are sometimes explosions, and it's awesome to watch. So it is head-to-toe destruction. It is fun for the whole family because nobody's getting hurt unless you count the pieces of metal and the robots that have their own little personalities. And so we have to kind of deal with that in our own little BattleBots therapy, if you will. But still, it is, who doesn't love watching stuff get blown to bits, right, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I was watching this first episode, and there were some fights that took on just a life of their own. And literally, there's one surprise. I'm not spoiling it, but it was like 2 hits and the guy was done. Something caught literal air and hit the side of the arena. And I was like, oh my God, how much force and power is in this little tiny robot?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, even if you're not like into STEM and that sort of stuff, I think you will point that direction after you catch an episode of BattleBots because it's it's amazing because some robots do get thrown 15, 20 feet in the air. And you look at them and you're like, oh, that was kind of cool. And then if you start doing the math in your head, the type of force and energy that it takes to lift something 250 pounds into the air and launch it from one end of the battle box to the other. Frequently, my tag team partner, Kenny Florian, who's a former UFC fighter, he and I are sitting box side. And so frequently we will have pieces of shrapnel flying in our direction. And we are so thankful for the bulletproof glass that is 1.25 inches thick. And by comparison's sake, when you go to your bank, that's like maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. So, we're 1.25 inches that are separating, metal shards from our faces. And when I first started this in 2015, I remember going up to one of the people in charge of the battle box, and I said, now this stuff's going to protect us, right? They said, yeah, we could actually hold like a machine gun on the other side and shoot it at you, and you'd be perfectly fine. I was like, nah, I'm good. Either that or my body double can stand in and take that instead. But I guess I'll take your word for it. So we are safe, but it's really cool. There's nothing like seeing these robots get destroyed, but still somehow try and manage to get to the end of the round, because each fight is 3 minutes. And if you don't knock out your opponent, it goes to the judges. And that's where things can get a little dicey sometimes.
I mean, it's been really cool just to see this competition evolve over the course of so many years. And you've had all these different teams, all different levels of experience. I know one competitor this year is literally a team of one. And that's incredible that he came out and did something all by himself, literally by doing stuff off of his parents' farm.
Yeah, so that bot is called Rusty, and his name is Dave Eaton, and he's one of several new competitors to the field. And he doesn't have a science background, which is great. We love hearing stories like this. He was just a BattleBots fan who said, screw it. I want to try it. I'm going to build a bot. So, yeah, he went to his parents' farm in Illinois, and he started finding this and that and the other thing. And he said, I didn't even tell my parents I was taking half of this stuff. But he built it. And just so that people have some perspective and some context, usually each team has a team captain and then at least 3 or 4 pit crew members to help them repurpose the bot, because, you fight, and even if you win, you can incur some damage. So how do you get ready for that next fight so you don't fall by the wayside? Well, Dave was a one-man band. He's like, it's one thing to build a robot. Now, once I get out here, how do I stay competitive? And he was almost like the dog that got rescued. Like, everybody fell in love with him and was just like, Dave, what sort of help do you need? And people would, other bot builders would come and watch his fight and would cheer him on. And you would hear chants of Rusty, Rusty echoing throughout the arena. So it was pretty darn special to see his story.
I mean, some of the other teams that also came out this year had some spectacular showing. Who were some of the favorite things that you saw, without spoiling some of the surprises that are going to be in store this season?
Well, listen, you're still going to see your favorite bots. Witch Doctor is back and Tombstone is back and, those sort of bots. So everybody's favorites, don't worry, they're still there. But to me, some of the newcomers and the stories that come with them are sensational. We have our youngest team captain ever, a guy named Tyler Wynn. He is 11 years old, and his mother is dating Ray Billings from Tombstone fame.
Oh,
and
wow.
So Ray is Tyler's mentor. And when we sat down with Tyler, when you talk to him, first of all, he is off the charts smart. He's Mensa since the age of 4. You feel like you're talking to a kid who's about to get his doctorate instead of an 11-year-old who should be like sitting there making fart jokes with his friends. And Ray told us, he said, listen, I think he is the smartest person here. And I was like, Ray, the field. There are people who are building robots for military use for this country. You have people who are literally rocket scientists. He's like, yeah, Chris, I know. I still think he's the smartest person here at age 11. And after talking with Tyler and watching him do his thing in the battle box, I'm not going to go against what Ray is saying necessarily. He is that special, and he is just hilarious to talk to. His perspective on life is so refreshing, and he was doing school virtually while we were shooting the season. So it's an amazing story to catch on to.
I gotta say, it's going to be an exciting ride to see all these competitors accomplish so much. And as you mentioned, watching somebody so young, basically we're watching a young Tony Stark. Maybe one day he'll design his own Iron Man suit. That would be terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. But you got to be careful. Hey, if you walk in that Iron Man suit, you best come with a weapon that works, because taking a few shots on that Iron Man suit will not get you a win inside the battle box.
I gotta say, man, it is going to be a lot of fun to watch this season unfold. I think I've made my wife a fan.
Yeah.
She was cheering for Tombstone. She was cheering for, there's this guy, I think the robots, green and black with these like scooper things. And that was so cool. Yeah, that was it. And
okay. Nice.
A lot of fun stuff to watch. So, Chris, I guess as my final question to you, if you had to design a robot in the battle box and budget was no concern, what weapon are you going to bring in, and what special gimmick is going to give you the edge over a competitor like Endgame or Tombstone?
Well, so it's a great question. First of all, I'm going to hire the best pit crew if budget is no concern here, because as much as I enjoy math and science, sometimes my brain doesn't work that way to the best of its ability. So I'm hiring a great crew. And also, as much as I like to win and I'm a competitor as well, I love to see bots flying through the air. I'm building a flipper bot. So like Hydra is back from the Ewart family. You will see Bronco at some point this season as well. So any sort of bot that can flip something else 15 to 20 feet in the air, even if you aren't necessarily going to win every match, I'm going that direction. I am. I just think it's incredible when you can take something, lift it in the air, and then pop it as well. I'm on board. I am on board. That's the kind of bot I'm going for.
Fantastic. All right, Chris. So once again, thank you for taking time out of your excessively busy schedule. I want you guys to stay safe. We're looking forward to watching things in the Battle Box this season. That is BattleBots on Discovery. You can check that out. Check your local listings for when you can see that. So guys, I have been Mike the Birdman for ThisWeekInGeek.net. Please keep it locked here as we wind things down for our season, which we will be back in 2021. We will still have some content coming out over the next few weeks. So until then, happy holidays, stay safe, and until then, be excellent to each other. We'll catch you guys next time right here on ThisWeekInGeek.net.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Thanks for listening to this episode of This Week in Geek. Hungry for more? Check out our website at ThisWeekInGeek.net. You can subscribe to the podcast, browse our Twitter and Instagram, and leave your thoughts on today's topics. If you'd like to give us some feedback, send us an email at feedback@thisweekingeek.net. Tune in next time, and remember,
lower your shields and surrender your listenership.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.